Hi boys and girls, here we are again for our Sunday school craft, and this time it is for week 5, November 1st. So get your packet out that says week 5, and in it you're going to have what looks like 2 paper plates, one with a section cut out, a paper with sections, and that's all you're going to need for that. But you'll also need crayons, scissors, glue. There's a little thing called a fastener or a brad in there. You might need a pencil or a marker. And this is something that only parents can touch. And might need a sharp pointed knife. Okay? No kids, just parents. Okay? Our craft this week was found on Pinterest. It's called Kids Craft, Elijah Hearing God in a Still Small Voice, and it's by Grace Houle. Okay? If you aren't having the craft package, you can find this craft on Pinterest on this site. Okay, so I cheated a little bit. I went ahead and colored. The first step you're going to do is color these triangles. You have 4 triangles. They say earthquake, no. Fire, no. Wind, no. Still small voice, yes. Okay? So go ahead and color those. And then your next step is going to be to cut them out. And I'm going to do that right now. Now, if you have not read Mrs. Hart's lesson, not read, listen to, right? If you have not listened to Mrs. Hart's lesson about Elijah, please go ahead and do that now. Stop right here and you can just pause, and even maybe while you're coloring if you want to. You can, because we need the lesson to be able to figure out what this is all about. Okay? I'm cutting very carefully, and I'm cutting out my little triangles. I have one more to go. There's 3. One more. Now, your paper plates usually are like this, right? This is usually how we use a paper plate. We're going to turn it over, and when you do that, you'll see on one of the paper plates there are lines. It makes a grid. There's a very faint pencil line on there. So we're going to put this one down for a minute, and we're going to take our triangles, and look, our triangles fit on the grid. Okay? So we're going to take some glue, and we're going to make sure the paper plate is this way so I can see my pencil lines, and I am going to glue each triangle on. I don't think there's a specific order you have to have, because this ends up being kind of like a game. It sticks up just a little bit. Okay? And I'm just going to put them, I'm going to do earthquake next. Now this one you might have to have a little bit more glue on than you normally do, because you want this top part, you see how it wants to stick up? Right here? We want this to be laying down a little bit more, because this is going to go on top and move back and forth over it. We don't want it to get stuck too much. So I'm putting my triangles, I'm doing fire next, and each one of the little triangles formed on my plate. Okay, here I have 3 now. I'm kind of smoothing it down on that top edge. Okay, one more. I'm going to put wind on next. Now if you've listened to Mrs. Hart's story, you know that Elijah was feeling kind of scared and alone. And he went off by himself and he was looking for God's reassurance that he was there. So he asked God to speak to him. Okay, there we are. That's how it can look. It doesn't matter where you place your little triangles. This is just how I did mine. All right, now comes the tricky part. All right? This is where the knife comes in. This fastener or brad has to come through this paper plate. And that's kind of tough. I was able to put it through the top paper plate, but when I went to put it through both, it got stuck. So what I did is took my knife point and just very carefully made a little hole. And now I gotta do it again so that I know where it was. I may have to move my corner of my wind just a bit, and you might have to trim that too. Okay? Boys and girls, do not touch the knife. That's something for a grown-up only, because we don't want anybody to get hurt. Alright? That's only for a mom or a dad. And if mom or dad isn't around right now, wait. Okay? Alright, I'm going to take my top piece, and I made a little hole in it, and I'm going to put my fastener or my brad through it. Okay? Now I'm going to find that little hole here, and I'm going to put this right on top, and I'm going to put it through the second hole. Okay? And then I'm going to turn it over and open up the little flaps so that it will stay put. Alright, now you can see when Elijah wanted the Lord to speak to him, was the Lord speaking in an earthquake? No. In the fire? No. In the wind? No. He spoke to him in a still small voice. Now, you might want to leave this plain. You might want to just put beautiful colors on there. I am going to put some words on here. I'm going to put Elijah hears God. I wrote some words. Now maybe you can't write words. So maybe you want to make his face. I'm going to make Elijah's face. Give him some eyes and a nose, and he's happy because he's hearing from God. And I'm going to put a headpiece on him like they used to wear back then. Not like now, right? And I made a picture of Elijah. You could do that. Or you could make a picture of an ear. Looks like two little C's inside of each other. You make that any way you want, as fancy as you want, and then tell a friend or mom or dad or a brother or sister the story of how God comforted Elijah by speaking in a still small voice. All right, boys and girls, I will be seeing you this week, because this week you will be getting a new set of craft packets for November, and I'm going to bring you a special surprise. Okay? I'll see you this week. Bye.